Hi, I'm Will.
I'm Taylor.
And I'm Caleb.
And we're the executives of Pop Hawk Corporation.
Today we're going to test our main supplier's popcorn, and we want to make sure that 99.7% of our samples of popcorn have means and ranges that fall within the control limits when our process is in control.
To do this, we will have 10 samples with 4 observations each, which will collect our data, and from there we'll construct our X-bar and R-bar control charts.
Our main supplier we will be testing today is Hy-Vee Yellow Popcorn. Here is the sample of popcorn kernels we will be using to collect the data that we will use to create our control charts. Here are our 10 samples, and each sample has 4 observations. Now we're going to record the weight of each popcorn kernel using milligrams. For sample 1, observation 1, 31 milligrams. For sample 1, observation 2, 29 milligrams. Observation 3, 29 milligrams. And observation 4, 39 milligrams.
Now that we have the data entered onto the board, we need to calculate X-bar and the range for each sample. X-bar is calculated by taking the 4 observations in each sample, taking the average of that, which is 39 plus 29 plus 29 plus 31. Average is 32. The range is calculated by taking the max of 39 and subtracting that from the min of 29. You get a range of 10. Go through all 10 samples and you calculate the X-bar for each sample. Do the same for the range. Now you take this data and we have to calculate X double bar and R bar. X double bar is calculated by taking the average of the X bar for all 10 samples, and that is 28.13. Do the same for the range, and that is 7.06.
After determining the X double bar and the R bar numbers, we were able to use these to plug them into the formulas of the X bar chart and the R bar chart in order to create them. And there's 3 formulas they have to use for each one of them. You have to figure out the center line, the upper control limit, and then the lower control limit. And after plugging all the numbers that we need into the formula, we figured out the center line for the X bar chart is 28.13, the upper control limit of the X bar chart is 33.28, and the lower control limit for the X bar chart is 22.98. And doing a similar thing with the R bar chart, we have to find the center line, the upper control limit, as well as the lower control limit for the R bar chart. And we determined that the center line for the R bar chart was 7.06, and the upper control limit is 16.10, and the lower control limit for the R bar chart is 0.
Using these numbers, we can start creating the R bar, the X bar, and the R bar charts. The central line, upper control limit, and lower control limit make up the boundaries that we use for these charts. The x-axis contains the 10 samples we took using the numbers from the X-bar and our range. As we can see in our X-bar chart, samples 3 and 5 are outliers, and the other 8 samples are within the boundaries, making them under control. Samples 3 and 5 are abnormal. In our R-bar chart, we can see that all of the samples are within our boundaries, and that means they are completely under control.